Okay. Hi, this is Julia from the Macedon Public Library, and today we're going to be making seed bombs. I'm going to show you how to do this. They're little kits that we put together at the library. I think everybody's picked them up that requested them. So if you've got one, you can do it while we're doing it, or watch, and then you can always come back. This is going to be on YouTube. Before I start getting my hands dirty, because I'm going to get my hands dirty because we're working with dirt, I did want to show you, I got the idea for this program through a website that is available for users of the Macedon Public Library to access. It's called Creative Bug. And I'm going to share my screen and show you how to get to that. And you're just going to need your library card number to sign in, and just kind of show you what kind of information. It's all crafty, making things, painting, collages, but also sewing, and a bunch of stuff. Anyway, so how do I share my screen? Share screen. And I think we're going to do that. All right, can you see this is the Macedon Public Library website.
Yep.
And so there's a big picture of the building, and then you scroll down, and the middle column, it says Creative Bug, supported in part by the Coronavirus Aid CARES Act. We'll use some of the money to help do this because this is another resource. I've already signed in with my library card, so that's why it says welcome back, Julia. But otherwise, it would bring you to a site where you just say type in your library card number. You have to have your card number, but you don't need your password, just the card number. And that gets you in, and then you can search a whole bunch of kinds of classes. So they have art and design, sewing, quilting, paper, knitting, crochet, food and home, jewelry, kids stuff, even a bunch of stuff. When you find things that you like, you can, through classes, you can make a wish list of things. So this is the things that I'm either interested in or I've already done before for programs. And so we did the truffles and tempering chocolate. And then here's the seed bomb. So let's see if it would start to play it a little bit. Let's say play. So these were recorded a while ago. I think this is Joanne.
Here.
Jump ahead.
Look that Courtney, who you see a lot on our Facebook live shoots, gave to her kids. I found in researching how to make, so if you live in a place, like maybe there's an empty lot near your house or something, and you think, gosh, that sure would be a whole lot prettier if it had a bunch of wildflowers growing in it. So you can make a whole bunch of these seed bombs and chuck them into the yard, and they will sit there and propagate right in the little ball and create a whole new garden. In fact, I wanted to show you guys something before we get started. This is a book that Courtney, who you see a lot on our Facebook live shoots, gave to me. It's called Wildflowering LA.
Shows you how to do it.
Really measuring it.
Rolls it out. You put
so I'm just going to kind of make a little pile here.
With you today too.
That looks pretty good to me.
But I got the idea through this Creative Bug to do this program because I thought it would be something that people would be interested in. So it's definitely a site. If you got a Macedon Library card, check it out. See what there is, because the videos are pretty good. I look for the simpler things, but some of them are quite complicated. And Stacy did some really early on with drawing, I think, or maybe painting, and she really liked it. So there you go. So Creative Bug is a resource that we have here through the library. These are, stand up a little bit. These are, see if I can show it in the camera. These are my little sample seed bombs, like what hers were, that we're going to be making. And in your kit, now I'm going to turn my screen down. In your little bags, you should have gotten something, this weird lump of something, and that is paper clay. It should hopefully still a little moist. Mine is, and you can just mush it in your hands. Move it up again. This is what the product is. This is Creative Paper Clay. We ordered it through Amazon. That was what she used in the Creative Bug video. And it's a nice medium for holding the dirt and the seed together. It is biodegradable, is that the right word? So in other words, when you throw it out into the fields or just in your yard, which is what I'm gonna do, it will just compost. It will just, you know, break down with the rain. And then the seeds will get enough water to germinate. There's my whole self. And then they can hopefully start growing. And it's not gonna just be seeds laying on the ground. So this is the container that I got a lot of the seeds from. It just, I don't even know where we got it from. Shannon had it on her desk. Just a wildflower seed blend. You could take something like this, which holds a lot of seeds, and just scatter them, but then a lot of critters will come and find the seeds, and how many of these seeds are gonna really make it. So having them in the seed bombs is a way to kind of protect the seeds, to kind of give them a chance. What's nice about them being, and then, so it's really hard once it's air dried, just after a couple of hours, it's pretty firm, is that people can throw them. You can chuck them into a yard or chuck them into a field, or use, I think we have one of the families who took a kit, yeah, Lisa's waving her hand. They're going to try and do it with a homemade, like a trebuchet or a catapult or something like that. So studying the Middle Ages and looking at different ways to deliver things farther using tools to do the same thing. So that's an idea too, that you wouldn't be able to do with just seeds if you're just throwing the seeds. So here we go really quickly. Turn it down. Hope you can see what I got. So I have a little bit of clay, and I just put an old page protector down here on the desk. She recommended, I'm just kneading it a little bit. The person in the Creative Bug video recommended rolling it out. I found, first time I did, and I just kind of pushed it with my hands. These are the inserts for our receipt tape that we use here at the library, which I thought would be perfect for like a little rolling pin. I don't know. I don't know that this part is important. You want to kind of flatten it out though, because we're going to make a little pouch for the dirt and the seeds to go in before you mush it. I don't know how well that's showing up on this because of the colors. So I have it's fairly thin, but still pliable. Then obviously the rest of this is just old potting soil, so it's very, very dry. I don't even know how long we've had it at the library. And you're just gonna pour some into it. I did mention that this is gonna get messy, right? Take out some of the older, really dry bits. Kind of spread that around. And then, oops, you guys in your kit had you have a little envelope, I hope, with the seeds. Yep. From that same box. So I didn't make an envelope for me because we ran out. So I'm just gonna pour some on there. And then I'm just gonna kind of roll it up. And for this part, I actually have a paper plate that I'm going to use to help. And you can see I used this before when I made my demos. It's got the dirt on it. I'm just scrunching it just to kind of work it all through that paper clay. And some of it's going to fall out. I don't even know if this is on camera. There it is. Can always kind of mush it, you know, when you're rolling out dough. I don't know. I'm trying to think of when you would do, like if you make, I love shortbread cookies because I love butter and salt and butter and sugar. Well, I like salted butter. And so when you're re-rolling the die, often you're kind of doing the same sort of thing, and you're just to get it smooth. So this reminds me of shortbread cookies. Don't eat it. And you just kind of want to make it so that they're kind of uniformly spread out. You can add a little bit more dirt if you need to. You can always, actually, what you could do if you had more seeds, you could, at the end, you could roll it in seeds when you get the amount. And so I gave you, each of the kits have more of the paper clay in it than this one was, because I didn't know how much we could get. I think we got 8 kits. So we got a pound package, and I think we got 8 kits out of that. You could do a whole bunch of balls. I don't know, depending on how big you want them to be. So I'm kind of thinking that this is, well, maybe a little bit more. Just kind of work with it. Yeah, there's a little bit extra soil there because the potting soil is so dry. I'm working it through. But then you just you're gonna break it. You could do it as one big lump, but you know, it depends on how big your catapult is. And so, oh, I had a plastic knife. I didn't bring it to the table. So could just be, you just pinch off a bit to make them whatever size you want them to be. And then just kind of roll them sort of. I mean, they don't have to be circles. They don't get baked or anything. It's just air dried. It doesn't need any heat. If you put them in the sun, they're gonna, you know, dry a little bit faster. You put them in the rain, they'll dry a lot slower, or not dry at all. I think I put dirt in this. In the video, in the Creative Bug video, she also talked about, she walked around and picked some wildflowers, you know, the week before or whatever, and then she kind of let them dry, and then she kind of stuck some on the outsides to make them pretty, and then she talked about putting them in a little bag for a present, or which would be a lovely idea, but to me sounds like too much work. So I just want to throw them in. I just want to throw them in our yard and see what comes up. But I mean, they could be like a nice little springtime gift or something like that. So really, that's all there is to it. Just the paper clay. Now, and I've done this project before with just using recycled paper, putting paper through a shredder and then mixing it with a little bit of water, making a pulp out of it with the seeds. The trouble with that is that if it's too wet, then the seeds could start to germinate before you're ready for them to. So that kind of thing I would do, and then make sure that they go out, you know. I mean, you could even take these if you didn't want to throw them. I mean, that's kind of the point. But if you didn't want to, you could plant these. You could put it in a little Dixie cup or something and see and watch what happens. That might be better for younger kids who don't want to throw things. So that's really all that there is to it. I'm gonna lift up my camera now. The computer's gonna get all dusty. So yeah, that's basically it. So how are you? What are you finding, Chris?
Well, I have a Bic pen here that I'm using as my roller.
Oh, did it work?
Yeah, it's working really good. And then I use the plastic.
Yep. Oh, very good.
And I'm just kind of rolling it on that.
All right.
And then you can actually bring it up like this. And once I get the dirt in it, and that's how I kind of scrunched it all in together.
All right. You're trying to keep your hands clean, aren't you?
Well, I'm inside. If I was outside, I would have been better.
Yeah.
But I got one big ball, and
Excellent.
I'm going to use that one.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think looks all right.
So I think, and in the Creative Bug thing, she rolled it out into like a snake tube thing, and then she cut it into different size balls, which I think I might have done with a plastic knife when I tried it the first time, but I just didn't bring it with me to the computer today. So,
but
use what you got.
It seems like it's gonna work.
Okay.
Julie,
Yeah.
question. When you throw it into the garden or into the whatever, does it open up and explode?
It won't. So it's just gonna sit there as a rock. It's just gonna look like a rock.
Okay.
So calling it a bomb is more about the transmission of it through space.
Okay.
Not at the end.
I was wondering if you don't wait until it's totally dry, if you do it when it's a little bit on the moist side, it would fall apart easier.
I would think so, yeah.
Okay.
But the ultimate is I would, in the medieval, when you're shooting this through a catapult or trebuchet or something like this, rocks were used to break down walls. They whatever they sent through with the war machine didn't necessarily explode. It was what it did to the material that they were attacking.
Got it.
So if you had a target that you were aiming for that could fall down, that would be good. That would
Okay.
maybe feel a little bit more satisfying. But yeah, you could definitely try it with it being wet. You might even want to add a little bit of water to the soil, because right now the soil that's in the bag is really, really dry and powdery.
Yep.
You might even want to moisten that a bit before you mix it in.
Sure.
Yeah. So I wish you luck with that.
Yeah, we investigated what the supplies were yesterday.
Yep.
Apparently he had never played with clay. It's always
Oh.
Play-Doh.
Yes.
So that was a step one. And
Yeah.
then we also discussed where we were going to throw it and how to prepare the soil ahead of time. So we've already done a little bit of
Good
background
job.
work on it.
Yeah.
Look.
I love homeschooling. I
Yeah.
miss it.
It's a big responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah. But when you see the light going on in
Mhm,
behind their eyes when they're figuring it out and when you know they've got it,
mhm.
that's awesome. I mean, you can get that in a classroom too, but you can't see because there's so many kids.
Yep,
So anyway,
Yep.
I'm partial.
very good. Thank you.
You are very welcome. All right. It looks like Chris has got her next ball get worked.
Yep,
All
yep.
right.
Just working it in a little bit before I take it out of the plastic. And
Yeah, no, that's very smart.
so, yeah,
I didn't think, well, of course, yeah.
yeah, you're not home.
Well, and I mean, I'm working on a table. It's really easy to clean. So
Yeah.
it's not all my stuff around here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I
Yeah.
think I will, I'm going to go ahead and end the recording here. And if you watch this video, if you have any questions, you can call us at the library, and
Thank you.
I'm going to stop the recording. All right.
All right,
Thanks so much. Bye.
Thanks,
I'll still be
Jen.
here if anybody wants to still chat afterwards, but I'm going to end the recording.
Okay.
Okay.
If I can remember how to do that. Stop video. You know what I'm hoping? Oh, there we go. Ah, they moved it. Bye. Yes. Stop.